Wyclef Jean, BKS1 Radio. Let's go.
This is Essence Atkins, and this is BKS1 Radio.
Hi, this is Melba Moore, and you're listening to BKS1 Radio.
Yo, check it out. What's the deal? This the chef. Giving a big shout out to my peoples. Big KS, you already know what it is. Salute.
What's up? It's your girl Monifa, and I'm hanging with BKS1 Radio.
Hi, I'm Ian Van Zan, and you're listening to BKS1 Radio.
BKS Radio, baby.
Hey, this is Jasmine Guy for BKS1 Radio.
What's going on? This is Lamont Rooker, and this is BKS1 Radio.
Shout out to BKS1, the best kept damn secret in the business.
Hey, what's up? This is Raven Goodwin from BET's Being Mary Jane, and shout out to BKS1.
Hi, this is Leon. You watching BKS1 Radio.
BKS1. God bless y'all.
Hello, and welcome to the Owwh Show right here on BKS1 Radio. It's your girl, Latoya Chanel, and I am so blessed and so happy to be back in the building this week. Why? Because I made it here, number one, and number two, because we are still on the healing journey. And you know what? The healing journey never ends. As long as we are alive and as long as there is breath in your lungs, you are going to be on a journey of some sort. Now, you may feel like, okay, I'm at a plateau. I don't always have to be healing from something. So you know what? Maybe it's the learning journey right now for you. Maybe you're not necessarily healing anymore, but maybe you're just learning things differently, right? So either way, that's what I'm here for, and that's what we're here to do. We're here to talk about learning. We're here to talk about healing. We're just here to talk about being our authentic and healthy selves. Say that 3 times fast. Authentic. What did I say? Authentic and healthy selves. Yes, that is what we're here for, and that is what I'm here for, because I'm on that journey, and of course I am dragging you, kicking and screaming along with me. So you know what? Let me go ahead and introduce 2 amazing ladies who I have also dragging, and they are not kicking and screaming. As a matter of fact, I asked to join on their bandwagon, as far as what they're doing and this journey. And you know what? We have come together, and we are presenting on a monthly basis a series I'm sure that you all are familiar with, entitled Red Flags. Actually, no, it's entitled Flags. We have just been talking about red flags this entire time. Why? Because there's so much to learn about it. So you know what? Let me go on ahead and bring them in. Help me welcome to the virtual studio with me right now the ladies from Yoshida Academy, Angie and Minwei. Is this not working for me? It's not working for me. Sound isn't. But you guys here, I'm going to clap. You guys here?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. You are here. How are you?
Fine, and you?
Oh,
I'm fantastic.
You fantastic? It's a fantastic Tuesday, right?
It is. It's Tuesday. It's a new week. We are already in spring. Can you imagine? We made it to spring. It's exciting.
I just needed to start looking like it on a daily basis, not every now and again or when it feels like it. I just needed to start looking like that on a daily basis, and just, that would make me a lot happier. I like warmth and I like heat. So, I'm ready for it. And then I was just in Miami over the weekend, and I literally went from 85 degrees to getting up this morning and going to work, and it was 45 degrees. So, wow. I'm ready. I'm ready. That's all I'm going to say is I'm ready. But again, both of you, I love when you're here. We're doing this on a monthly basis. Tell me how both of you are, especially on this healing journey.
Angelina, first. Like what? It's been great. I think that now also, I always tease telling people that I'm actually from the Caribbean and I'm not waiting for this weather. But the reality is that I'm Mexican, and I actually asked someone that has been in the United States for a long time, and I said, I've been here for about 20 years. I'm wondering, when am I going to be adjusted to this weather?
Right.
And this person said, And this person said, I've been here 30, and the answer is never. So no, I was like, okay, that's not really, it's not really a good way to be hoping for a better weather. But anyway, but we're here. We're super happy and excited to be here with you today. I appreciate this time.
Yeah.
Yes, I am excited. Thank you so much. We are excited to be here. And the healing journey continues because it just doesn't stop. It's an everyday thing. And it feels as if every time we come, we have like a whole new set of things that we've learned because that's what growth looks like. That's what healing looks like. And what you don't realize is the things that you're still carrying until you're in front of a client, or maybe you're doing something. Last week, I was giving a keynote at my alma mater at the New Jersey Institute of Technology, and it had to do with my journey, my own personal journey, and also just women in STEM. And my story is not different than a lot of women who are in STEM, where we experienced a lot of challenges and pushback and among other things, right? But one of the things that was important last week was being able to be vulnerable and transparent with our stories. I think oftentimes, because today we're going to be talking about red flags, right? When you're dealing with so this is for coaches, therapists, people who are in the mental health field and are helping others. It's so important that you're not projecting your own things onto other people, but it's also important to be vulnerable and transparent with your own story, because people aren't looking for perfect people. They're looking for people who have been through some stuff and can be vulnerable and open enough and transparent and say, hey, I've been through some stuff, but I guarantee you that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and that there are people who are willing to help you. Unlike most people who think that they are on an island all by themselves. No, this is what my story looks like. And what I realize is that I find more people connect to me when I'm being, transparent, and I'm being honest, and I'm being forthcoming with the things and the challenges that I've been through. And so that's what healing looks like. And sometimes you realize I'm not fully healed from this, and I still need to do work.
Right. Being your authentic self and allowing yourself to be your authentic self, and the vulnerability that lies in that seems to draw folks to you, as opposed to being someone else, and that always seems to repel people, doesn't it? It's like whenever you wear the mask all the time, there's always something that comes out. There's always oh, well, you weren't really like this, or you don't act like this, or you're not genuinely like this. You should have just been yourself. Why? And it's like, why are we so afraid of that?
And it's exhausting.
Is it exhausting? Or maybe I think personally that when I put myself in that position, oftentimes when I was unwilling to share and open up, there's a fear of judgment. It's rooted in fears. We've been talking a lot about fears from the beginning. And at the root of that is there's a fear. And there's a fear of being judged, and people, asking too many questions that may take us back to a place of feeling hurt and pain. But also there's a part of us that wants to project and portray this perfect facade to people. But that's just not reality. None of us are perfect.
Exactly. Meanwhile,
we were taught how to do this, by the way, and we have noticed this, at least after working with many people from different cultures. I have noticed that there are cultures that have this even more than others. I'm not sure exactly if it's like more north or more south, or how does it work, but it is true when you see people like friends from London, everything's perfect. The world can be falling apart. I'm fine. I'm great. Like the farther you go. I noticed this, for example, when I was in Virginia. And when I was traveling in North Carolina, or when I was, traveling south in Atlanta, like I did notice that change though. So I'm pretty sure that it's also regional. But I can tell you something that I've noticed with our people in Latin America. We have a little bit less facades than what I have experienced in the US. I'm not sure again if it's cultural, but you will know much more about what's really happening. And we have many jokes about this, like 1,000 jokes. Where if you ask a person from Latin America, so how's your family? Sit down and grab a cup of coffee, because the answer of that is, oh my God,
it's going to be a real answer.
Yeah, more than you wanted to know. Gossip that I shouldn't be telling you. Names of people that are private, like the issues of everybody. And you ask someone, at least my experience here in the US, and then the norther I go, the more it happens. So as a family, and they'll respond like, fine.
Right. And that's it.
So culturally speaking, I've been thinking maybe they were taught to respond until a certain point, then put a barrier or close the door, and you're not coming in because you're not close to me, you're not family. Why would I tell my life to a stranger? And then where I'm coming from, we tell our lives to complete strangers, and we have friendships that last 3 minutes, like somebody tells something deep.
I completely agree with you. I feel like in most cultures, especially here in the United States, vulnerability is weakness. Vulnerability equates to weakness. And so I can't tell you the truth because I can't look weak in front of you. And so therefore I have to tell you everything is fine. Everything is perfect. The household is fine. The kids are fine. The marriage is fine. Everything is perfectly fine. The job is fine. I'm so happy, and you have to say that because at any point in time, someone says, oh my gosh, this isn't right or that isn't right. Now, unfortunately, in a lot of cultures, there is a lot of judgment and people fear that. But I think, again, I come back to curating your squad and curating your circle. And I come back to making sure that those that you are confiding in are your circle, are your people. I also come back to, even if you are going to tell your life story to someone at the grocery store, make sure that you have built yourself up enough and you have the confidence that you don't care if they're judging you. You don't care what they think about you as you're pushing your cart back to the station where it belongs and you're getting in your car and driving away. You have to have that self-confidence where you're just like, I am authentically me and I don't care what you think.
Okay, should I tell her about what we do in the Confident Public Speaker? You were laughing about this, and I was like, okay. So we have a program called the Confident Public Speaker. Mm-hmm. And in session number, I forgot if it's 5 or 6 at the end, we talk about first fears, and then we say judgment, because it's one of the biggest fears to speak in public. So we discover this fantastic activity that includes body language and also verbal communication. So we invented this phrase, and we'd say this to everyone. And what started as a phrase to use in public speaking has become something that people say, you have to put that on a t-shirt. And it goes like this. You ready?
I'm ready.
I don't care if you judge me.
Yeah.
I am doing the right thing in the right way and for the right reasons.
Mm-hmm.
My conscience is clear and my spirit is lifted.
Absolutely. That is, put it on a t-shirt, a bag, or something else. All of it, all of them. Yeah, I love that. And I think that's what people lack. And I feel like in societies where we practice groupthink, there's more judgment than not, and people fear that, and you're taught to fear that. But that's just my thoughts.
And your thoughts are valid because we are taught to fear that. And the thing is that, again, I'm going to go back. There's a fear of missing out, a fear of not being what we're supposed to be. We're constantly judging ourselves against other people and where they are in their life and where we are in our life and what we haven't done and we haven't accomplished and what we still have yet to do. And so there's this judgment. The thing is, once you get over the fact that I'm judging you, you're judging me, we're judging everybody, then you don't care because now you're bypassing everybody's judging constantly every day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and twice on Sunday.
Right.
Who cares? We should care less every time. We also say this to, the younger generation, mostly for those of us who have kids. They're so worried about the impression that they're going to make and what social media portrays for them as perfect or as desirable, and then what people's opinion is of their behavior, what they're wearing, what they're saying, and it's really it's destructive, right?
It is.
So ideally, then we should literally ignore that and maybe choose one or two people that you do care. Like, I care what Angie thinks about me. I do care about that a lot. But it's handpicked, and this is based on the love that we feel for them, right? And the respect that they have for us as well, and that's the only valid one. But the rest is like, I don't care much. But I think that's it, and that's another. I mean, going to the red flags, fears of what people think about us, also goes to the people that we provide services to.
Absolutely.
Right. And so
let's talk about it. Let's talk about red flags in coaching and red flags in therapy. Let's get into it.
Yes, and it goes to any profession. By the way, I know that some of our friends are joining in. Thank you for joining, and we've already invited everyone to post some questions and let us know what you think, or give us any comments that you have. This goes to almost any one of us, because we are all providing a service to also other people, whether you're working in a company or being a business owner. But we recently discovered some of these fears that were more difficult to see, because these are things that are our own red flags. See, it's easier to see the red flag in other. It's like, oh, come on, Angie, you didn't see that coming, right? It's easier. And it's because you're not in the middle of the hurricane. You're in the side, right? But when you're in the middle and then emotions are there and are involved, it's not easy to see. And that is why I think that we all need people to help us see these red flags and be open. When someone is telling you, hey, red flag, don't push them aside, or don't say, like, mind your own business and what did you know. When someone is telling you, hey, red flag, say thank you. Like, thanks for bringing this to my attention, because the reality is that odds are it's very obvious that it's a red flag from the outside. We have this with clients and with prospects. There are many that we have discovered in Academy, and I can tell you, I'll pass the baton to Angie in a few seconds so that I don't say all of them. But Angie, I'll tell them, like, a red flag that we had with a big client. This is a client that we actually wanted to have them as clients, and it's a very expensive brand of cars that are hybrid and electric. Okay.
I think I just drove one in in Miami all weekend, but go ahead.
So we wanted this very expensive brand to be our clients.
Yeah.
They came late to the meetings. They said, I'll send you something that was never sent. Then they sent it with the title urgent. We need the proposal now. Angie and I dropped everything because we said, like, oh my God, look at this brand that will be fantastic to have. Plus they have the money to pay what we actually charge. And these guys are not going to be asking us for, hey, can we do something for less? And so we knew that they will value our work and they will pay for what we are worth. We also knew that they had this urgency of having learning, development, and leadership workshops that we deliver. And so we said, they're definitely going to hire us. But again, they were coming late. Something was urgent. And then one day they said, yeah, we need you guys. Like, it's a yes. please come to this workshop to deliver these workshops. And they're in person. And we said, sure. And where are you? And they said, California. And we're in the northern New Jersey area. So we dropped everything, canceled everything to be with them.
Yeah.
All to find out 2 days after that they changed their minds with a very rude email that said, sorry, we changed our minds. It's like, sorry, we decided to go to another direction. Period. Like, that's it. And I was so upset about this. I was upset first. I thought, oh my goodness, the money that I wanted. But then I was talking to someone, and someone said, think about this. Who's the owner of this company? And so I said the name.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I said the name of the owner. It's like, it's incredible that we're like,
from the top down.
But then the question is, what is your opinion of this guy? And I said, horrendous, rude, misogynist. A guy that is always discriminating. It's like, he's racist and he's all these things. And he openly say things like, I could not, care much about nature and saving the species and humans and all these things because, I care.
Or
I have other
DEI or, any of those things.
I don't care about, helping women heal. I don't care about women in power. I don't care about many other things. And so his ethical behaviors.
Yeah.
Listen to this. His moral values and his moral stand was completely off from what we stand for.
Yeah.
So the question that I was asked is this what you want for a client? For then I said, no, because if this is just the beginning, I can only imagine how mistreated we could be or we're going to be if we deliver this and we follow through. And then when are they going to pay us? Like, just saw this is not going to happen, right? Mm-hmm. Now, here's the thing. Was it a surprise? No, I'm sorry. It wasn't. Red flags were there. Ta-da! Hey! Mm-hmm. Showing themselves throughout the initial process. Now, I was afraid. Mm-hmm. And I confess that I found this later and say, maybe I was afraid of the no. Because I was afraid of losing them, closing the window. What if they could come later? Then I was afraid of not having the money. Mm-hmm. And I was afraid of not getting another client of that caliber. Mm-hmm. And so all these fears kind of blinded me from following my true north. And I think that is something to consider is these red flags were there. I failed to see them because my fears were blocking me. And that was just an example of how fears can block you. Angie, and I know that you have other examples as well.
That was such a great example. You just reminded me of that. So I'll give you an example, just a regular one. We were working with a client. And this client, usually we work with clients that will do groups of coaching sessions with their different people. Mm-hmm. And there was one particular person in the group. We'll pre-qualify people. Although, we say, yes, we'll give coaching to your group of people. We'll pre-qualify because some people are just not ready for coaching. Mm-hmm. And so I remember there was this one particular person where we had gone through the motions of interviewing this person, and there was a red flag because the question was, are you here because you want to and you feel that this is going to help you on your growth journey? Or is this mandatory for you so that you can, check off a box of I've done my professional development and I did what you told me to do? And the person, what we appreciated is that the person was honest enough to say, no, I'm being forced to do this. Like, if I don't do this, they're not going to give me my promotion. So I'm doing it so that I could get my promotion. And of course, there was a part of us that just didn't want to, because we had already signed this contract. And because we really wanted to do a great job, it was another big client. We knew that the red flags were there, and we knew that this person just they were not a good candidate. They weren't going to finish the program. We knew this. They were going to self-sabotage because they were doing it because they were being forced to do it rather than them seeing the value in the growth, right? The growth that they were going to experience through it, which was going to lead to them being promoted to the next level. And it wasn't until midway through this particular group of sessions with this particular client that it's almost like ding, 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 like we knew it, we knew it. And the person ended up saying, ciao, bye, I don't want to do this anymore. They quit their coaching session.
Is bad energy a red flag to a coach or a therapist? Can you go off of energy only?
Thing is that what is bad energy though?
It's that there's not good energy, there's not bad energy. The thing is that there are people who are just not ready and prepared for the journey.
And you can see it with behaviors, you know. The coaching session is at 5 and they showed up at 5:10, 5:15. It's like, okay, we get it. We all have emergencies. I get that. But then the next session, they change it because they forgot. Then the next session, they change it because, you know, they don't show up. And so, or you leave them an assignment, which, by the way, our assignments are not write a 5-page essays. We know you're working. Our assignments are write down what you observed last meeting with your co-workers and let us know about, you know, what you observe on their body language. Come on, it's just observation. But then they come back and, oh, I forgot. And so all of that for Angie and I read it at this is self-sabotaging.
Yeah.
We know that. And we tell them, how many excuses are you going to have to forbid yourself or to, you know, negate yourself the opportunity of being better, right? Of improving or something, because you stopped going. And this goes to therapy as well. And this goes to coaching, and this goes to a class. Let's say that you're learning another language.
Yeah.
Like, and you go to Pilates or whatever, it goes to anything that we do, you know it's good for you. You sign up for it. You wanted it. Yet, all these excuses that are portrayed as lack of organization or just, you know, plain, I don't know, lack of discipline. It's self-sabotaging. And so something inside of you is saying no. And so we always say, for us now we know it. Now we say, these are red flags because it's a behavior that is repeating. And now Angie and I know that it's a red flag. Now we can anticipate to the red flag and say, hey, excuse me, love, you might not be ready.
Right.
And it's okay. It's okay if you're not ready.
So I love that you say that, Mira, because somebody in Facebook just wrote a question asking, have we seen these red flags during coaching? Right. Yes. So I'm going to put the disclaimer, we are not licensed therapists. We are certified coaches. And so we can't speak for therapy itself. We can't speak to coaching. And so, yes, do we see red flags all the time? Absolutely. The behaviors that Minuet just mentioned are the red flags. They keep canceling on you. You know, it's almost like they're desperate. You're in the coaching session, they're desperate to leave. They're not being forthcoming with you or transparent. Oh, we love this one. The ego will get in the way. And so it's everybody else's fault. And it's not, they're unwilling to ask the question. We have a question that we ask every client. What is this teaching you? Yep. What is this teaching you moves you from the victim mentality to the victorious. When you move to the victorious side, you could see where things went wrong, you're solutions focused. And so you're not blaming everybody else, but rather you're going internally to ask, okay, what happened? What is this teaching me? What can I learn? Red flags exist all the time. It's the person who really is just not ready to do it. They're not ready to change. They're unwilling, you know, to go through the process. They're not ready to, you know, be transparent about the journey. We know that it's not easy.
Right.
Listen, growth, healing, there's pain in that. We know that. We understand. We've been there. Listen, been there, done that, got the t-shirt.
Absolutely.
We know.
And we shouldn't be running away from it. We say this every single time, and I think we're going to continue saying this every time we meet with red flags. Do not run away from pain. It's part of life. Do not run away from illnesses, do not run away from death, do not, like, all these things that are painted as these are bad things. It's the yin and the yang. It's not bad. Embrace it and ask the question that Angie just said. You're here to teach me what, like, talk to me, right? And this is what we all talk about red flags, is they're here to tell us something. Sometimes our ego so let's go back to red flags for those of us dedicated to helping others heal.
Mm-hmm.
In whatever way there is. By the way, we're not licensed therapists, as Angie said, but I know of friends that are therapists that have shared with me that the behavior is repeated. And we do the same with doctors and with anyone else, teachers, parents, friends. Again, I think it applies to all of us, right?
Right.
Let's go back to one of the main reasons why we don't see the red flag. Ego.
Our own ego.
Our own ego.
As
our
coaches
own ego.
and therapists, we don't see the red flags in potential clients based off of ego. Or is it only ego, or can it be ego and fear?
Well, fear is part of the ego.
It's part of, okay.
That's because the ego is this entity that it's good, because sometimes the good ego also kind of keeps us in check.
Yeah.
So it's not good or bad. It's just like having a certain amount of egos is good, right? Sometimes we actually need this alert system to tell us, hey, wait, hey, no. So it's okay. Everything in measure, I think, is just being in the middle. But this ego that is the ego is the one that tells you, no, you're stupid. The ego is the one that tells you, really, you? The ego is the one that tells you, no, you should be afraid. You're not able. You're not capable. You're not good enough. You suck. Actually, shut up. That's the ego. The ego is the one that tells you you're arrogant. I'm better than the rest of all these people. So it's not just that, right? And the ego is the one that it's in front of us, blocking us from being honestly, vulnerably ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Without these fears of the other people's judgment. The thing about the fear that goes under the ego for those of us who are helping other people, and it's a red flag for us, is that we do want to be saviors.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Because we say Angie have saved lives, like literally. Like literally, like from people saying, I'm going to kill myself. And she's like, no, let me talk to you. And let me, like, she has saved lives. So,
yeah.
So imagine the impact of one's work, right? I have been told you changed the direction of my life, right? Like I was in this
yeah.
trajectory. And then suddenly, the arrow was pointing to this and right. And so there's a part of us that actually feeds the ego and let's just say it as it is. And there are times where I confess, my ego has told me, don't let go of this person because you can make a difference. Don't let go because they're good human beings. They're just lost. Don't let go because, because they need you.
Is it possible that it can be a double fold? Do we want to not only be saviors, but we also want to be right?
Yes, of course.
You want to be right. So a part of that ego is you want to be a savior. You want to be right. You want to show what you've learned or where you've come from or what you've accomplished and where you are now as opposed to where someone else may still be.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, there are often times, because we are coaches, where we'll see a red flag. So we're trained where we'll see a red flag where we'll say, no, this person needs therapy. They don't need coaching in this moment.
Yeah.
They need therapy.
Yeah.
And you tell the person, listen, we need to stop this because what we've realized is that there are certain things, behaviors, things that you're saying that you're exhibiting that requires a licensed therapist, right? And they will, listen, they're going to tell you, no, I've been through therapy. It doesn't work. I want to stay with you. And there's a part of you because you want to be right and you want to be a savior, that you want to help this person. but there are things that are outside
beyond
of
your
your
scope. Yeah, they're
level
beyond
of
your scope. Yeah,
expertise
of
that
expertise.
you have to, right? It's not in your scope, that
Yeah.
you have to refer out to other people.
Mhm.
And then there are some people that, because they are not ready to confront the things that they are going through and that they're in, they're not ready. They're not ready to let go. They're not ready to change.
Yeah.
You can't be the savior, because what will happen is that it will have the opposite effect. And sometimes people don't understand this, and you have to be in tune with what's happening. And then oftentimes these people are our masters. We've mentioned this in our previous sessions, right? That we've come on here. People come to teach us a lesson.
They do.
Maybe this person came to teach you, because maybe they're your projection and you're projecting onto them. Maybe you're the one that's going through some things that need to be saved. One of the things that Minue and I always tell our clients when we start working with people is, before you decide to do any type of work with anyone, I don't care who it is, you need to make sure, if it's in the mental health space, that these people have someone that's helping them, because a coach, a therapist should not be projecting their issues onto you.
Yeah.
There's a fear of being judged, and people, asking too many questions that may take us back. What is the who has that on?
I'm not sure. Jeff?
Okay. I'm like, what happened?
Something was talking. Okay.
Okay. So what has to happen is you have to ask. So we always tell people, when you're looking for a coach, ask your coach, do you have a coach? Minue and I have coaches, because we cannot project our stuff.
I have a coach, a therapist, and a mentor.
Right.
And so before I say, before I say anything to anyone on this show, please know, because again, I'm not a licensed therapist, but please know that I have a coach, a therapist, and a mentor of my own. This is not just, you know what I feel like today? You know what I feel like saying? I want to say that, no, that's not where any of this comes from.
And you know what? We always tell people when they're looking for coaches, we always say, wait. As you are researching and doing your due diligence to find your coach, we strongly suggest that you find a coach that has a coach. Yes. At least. Absolutely. Coach, a therapist, a mentor, a champion, right? At least. Because I can only imagine what it would be for a dentist to take their own drill and be drilling their own teeth. Like, that's impossible. That's impossible. Like, let's not play that game. We need someone to keep us as well, not only on check, but teaching us ourselves and pulling us up to where we need to go. This is actually a red flag for those of you who are looking for mentors and coaches and all that. A red flag would be if you ask them, do you have someone? And they say no. Because in my perspective, and you share this with me as well, we would think, how perfect do you think you are that you don't need any help from the outside world, right? From an expert on this. And so then be careful, because then you might fall into mediocrity, and so that would be a problem. Right. So then we need each other. And going back to the part of the red flags, we found someone near us, near our lives, like I have Angie has me, that we keep each other in check with, was this a red flag? And we just recently have this conversation, right, where we sometimes don't see it because our emotions are kind of a fog in between our decisions. Yeah. And this is one of the things we say, and we say this in coaching. If I want this more than you, coaching should stop. They should recognizing when we want them more than them. Yeah. I confess I'm not the best yet at that, because sometimes it's like I want it more and I do all these incredible things. Like, yes, let me repeat the same thing that I've been telling you 3 times now. Let me tell you that there's a recording that you didn't watch, but let's go back to it. Let me take notes again for you. Let me subsidize your work, and let me be very forgiving of all the lack of discipline that you have, and let's continue this coaching instead of me stopping it.
Yeah.
But I have someone that is always checking, and I have Angie to tell me, are you creating a codependency? Be careful.
Where do you draw that line? Where do you draw the line between you actually caring and your ego?
I don't think it's a line. I think it's a how do you call this? Una franja. Like, I think it's like longer than that. It's a big, or it's a line, but it's like very, very big. It's not gray. I don't think that it exists, honestly, because I think that you go back and forth between one and the other. I would say that when it's in detriment of your own performance, when it's
in detriment of your own performance,
number one, and number two, when your emotions are being affected negatively by the interaction with this person. When your emotions are being affected negatively after the interactions with this person. Example, oh my God, Angie, I met with this person again, and are you kidding me? I spent 2 hours working on this plan to show this person, because I'm so excited to help this person succeed and flourish and be the best, and this person just cancel on me. So now I'm upset. Who's noticing this? I might not be, because I'm inside of the emotion in that moment. But you know who notices? Angie. So then Angie goes, are you upset about this? Is this the first? There are many questions. Is this the first time that this person does this? Do you think this person really needs coaching? Are you sure it's coaching and therapy? So when someone is mirroring you this behavior is when you see it. And if these two things are happening, where again, you're now upset or disenchanted or disappointed, then that's a negative emotion that is not actually helping this person function better. That is a very clear red flag. I think, Angie, what do you feel?
You're absolutely correct. See, the thing is, Minue hit the nail on the head. There is no delineation with the line. However, because the pattern of behavior that's being exhibited, it's the same time after time. There's no change. They'll come back, they'll tell you the same thing. They'll say, I didn't do the assignment. Okay, so what did you learn from this? I didn't really think about it, but I know it's the other person. And so it's the blame game. I didn't do the assignment. We need to reschedule. They'll reschedule 7 times. Something's always happening. And so if they're exhibiting the same pattern of behavior, I give people 2 chances. Because I realize and I know that things may happen in between. But if you're doing the same thing time after time, that's the biggest red flag. You're just not ready. And that's okay.
Listen, if you're just joining us right here on the Owwh Show, it's Latoya Chanel, and I'm here with Angie, and I'm here with Minwei, and these are the ladies from Yoshida Academy, and we have been talking about red flags. As you know, we do this series the last Tuesday of every single month. Right now, we are talking about red flags in coaching and therapy, and we have been discussing fears first. So as a coach and as a therapist, your own fears, and we are just talking about boundaries that you should have as a coach and boundaries that you should have as a therapist. But before I get to the last subtopic from the coach or the therapist perspective, I want you guys to please discuss red flags, because we touched on it a little bit, but what are some red flags other than finding a coach or a therapist that has a coach or a therapist themselves? What are some other red flags that our viewers should look for when searching or seeking out a therapist or a mentor or a coach?
Oh, great question. So the coach, the therapist, well, therapy may be a little harder because of confidentiality reasons. But for coaching, we always say we're open to connecting you with past clients. So if you need to speak with someone, to get more clarity on how we work and our services and, what their experience was, we're open. Some people are unwilling to share and connect, right? They don't want to connect you to past clients. We're very open. Our clients, whatever they say, whether good or bad, we're open to connecting people with our clients. As a matter of fact, clients have connected with other clients for business.
Yeah.
And so for us, we're willing to
references. You need references. Yeah.
Yeah, you need references. You need recommendations. You need to be able to talk to other people, because this is the thing. When it comes to coaching itself, it's an investment, and we do understand that. And there are some people that need to feel comfortable about the investment that they're making. And so a red flag is if someone is unwilling to provide references. We provide references all the time.
They should have references, and they should have a coach, mentor, or therapist themselves. Minway?
Absolutely. They should also have, that they should be owning their own healing process. We're not here to play superheroes and say I'm perfect.
I love that.
Because that's not real. I mean, it's not real. The fact that we might have a little bit more clarity on a few things is not because we are super, like, how would I say this? We're not flying above you.
Right.
No,
right.
The reasons why we're able to anticipate that when you put the hand in the stove, it will burn you is because first, we were burned. Let's begin with that. No? Second, because we see people all day long and we see what happened when they put their hand on the stove. So some of our behaviors are predictable. Some of them are mathematically almost like
scientifically predictable.
You improve them. Yes, and it is true. It is true. That's why some people said that, for example, psychology or psychopedagogy, it is not an exact science. No, it is not an exact science, but it is a science. And there are behaviors that are repeated that can be proven. You can have hypotheses, and therefore you can have diagnosis and prognosis. So yes, you can anticipate to those things. Based on that, Angie and I could know if someone says, I don't know why I can't find a job. It's nasty. The world is disgusting. Look, it doesn't take a lot of science to know that this person with that body language, with those words, with that attitude, with those gestures, the micro expressions, that person is not going to get it. Plus, neurolinguistic programming is also telling us that this person, by the way they're expressing themselves, the negativity they're putting into it, and the victim mentality, that is right. They're not going to get that job. What gives us this? The knowledge that we have and the experience that we have. So, yes, we can see that. It doesn't make us better than anyone. It doesn't make us infallible. It doesn't make us perfect. So, a red flag is when you're talking to whomever is helping you, a mentor, a coach, a therapist, etc., and you ask simple questions to them and their lives are perfect, like Disney World. Everything's fine. Everything's perfect. I've never made that mistake. I was born like this. It's like, so if someone starts like that, they're definitely hiding something and they're not in the process of healing, because I think a more honest response would be, you know what? I've lived through that. You're right. It might be hard because it was hard for me, something like that. And then, or maybe, you know what? From time to time, I fall into that thing. And guess what? The important thing is to get up and try this again. And so it's that vulnerability that you're looking for without there's another red flag, okay? When you go to the other side and then you become, instead of the help, the coach, the therapist, now you become your buddy. And so now I'm going to cry with you, and I'm going to suffer with you, and I'm going to curse with you, and I'm going to be miserable with you because my level of empathy takes me to that place. Well, now you went to the other side, right? That's a red flag. That's a red flag. And there are people that when you seek for their help, because there's something off with them and they are projecting themselves on you, you might find that instead of them helping, they could be of harm.
So what are your thoughts on a lot of these podcasts, right? So everyone's been talking about this podcast culture, men, women, young, old. There's a lot of help out here nowadays. A lot of help in families, a lot of help in dating and relationships. Everybody wants to talk about dating and relationships and call themselves relationship experts. What are your personal thoughts on these coaches or these therapists online and the kind of help that they're giving with all of this emotion? So what are your thoughts on that?
I have a lot of thoughts, but before we get to my thought on that, I do have to add one more red flag, which came up in a conversation just last week. So I have a friend that went to a therapist, and this had to do with a work-related. They were suffering from some things work-related, and they went to see this therapist. And so I'm gonna say this with as much love and respect as I can. I have heard this time and time again. For people who are part of the global majority, meaning minorities, it is a lot more difficult for us to find people in the mental health arena
space,
that understand our lived experiences. And so oftentimes what happens is that when they go to someone who is not minority, that doesn't understand a lived experience, right? Whether you're from the Caribbean or, from a different country, whatever it is, it's much more challenging to have the other person understand some of the things, right? The nuances, or maybe, some of the cultural things that you grew up with that may have had an effect. And so this friend tells me that they go meet with this person, and automatically the therapist, who was a white therapist, judged them, said something that was very judgmental. And then said something that had a racial connotation, right? An undertone to it. And the person was extremely upset. And so, of course, they leave the session, they call me, and they're asking for my opinion. And of course, the person ended up not going with this therapist. They were interviewing several therapists, but the person felt that they were being judged because they were a minority going through some work issues that was affecting them. And the person had this bias against, this particular group of people because of things that they had experienced, or I'm assuming, they had been hearing and people going. And so the person felt upset because they're like, I felt judged. I felt, that this particular person was grouping everybody under the same thing. And I said, I understand, but this is why it's so important for you to continue searching, looking for
the right match,
the best fit for you, for your match, where you feel heard, you feel understood, you felt that there was a connection. And so a red flag is anything that goes against your values, against who you are, right? When somebody is, exhibiting a microaggression, when somebody is exhibiting racism towards you. And I know it's difficult and challenging because I hear this time and time again. I wish I could just find somebody who's a Latino therapist that understands me. I hear Latinos say this, or a Black therapist. And I suggest that you do your research and you keep looking until you feel comfortable with the person that you're looking for. Okay, now really quickly, and then I'll give it to Minoy. You asked, what is my thoughts about all these podcasts and people claiming to be experts in multiple fields? Do your due diligence. I hear people all the time say, oh, this person is giving terrible advice, this and that and the third. If they're giving terrible advice and you don't connect with the advice that they're giving, find something else. Find an expert that you do connect with. Do your due diligence. I'm not here to, talk bad about anybody else, the way that they, that they give their information and everything else. Just remember, information is biased as well. None of us have the answer to everything. Just because we say we are an expert in, it's also still our personal opinion. You don't have to buy into it. And like I always say, if you really want to find a real expert, make sure you are searching and corroborating that this person is an expert in the information that they're giving you.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yes, yes, yes. I would say that I would look for three things in a coach. The first thing that I notice is that we should shy away from absolutes. Everything, nothing. Like the good, the bad, like this absolutes, of what's right and what's wrong. I'm not saying everything is relative, so also don't go to that extreme, right? But the person that determines what's good is you, because the question is good for whom? Right? Is this good? So we have people, we wanted to know, do you think it's good? And we say good for whom? So what's good for you can be bad for me. And so, but I'm not here to tell you.
Yeah.
If it's good or bad. That's the role of another discipline, not a coach, right? So, and no absolutes, nothing and everything. I would say the second one is the coach is someone that actually helps you be accountable. And accountability is not about them, by the way. It's you.
Right.
You are the one that says that you're going to do this.
Yeah.
You are the one that wants to do this. So you is back at you. Accountability. That's what they're supposed to help you is to own your stuff.
Yeah.
Let's get a bad word. To own your stuff,
Right.
Own it. But because if this coach is not helping you be accountable, then it's not a coach, it's a friend. And then go with your friend.
You should have friends that hold you accountable as well too.
Right, but I'm saying maybe you're looking for just company. That's what I meant. Like, because if you're blaming the world and it's always Angie and and this person doesn't come back to say, love. This is no Angie. This is not your mama. This is not your husband. This is not your boss.
Yeah.
It's you.
Yeah.
It's you. And if you can't take that, get out of coaching then, because you don't want to hear the truth. Right. And the truth is you can only control your thoughts, your reactions, your feelings, and your emotions. You cannot control other people's emotions and reactions. So people can call you the worst of the worst, is how you react to that. And you can choose not to.
Yeah.
Or positively or the opposite. I've seen wonderful things. And so stop saying he make me sad and she make me angry and he made me. No, nobody's making you anything. So accountability, a good coach will hold you accountable instead of giving you a cup of coffee and saying like, you're right. No. The last thing I would say is that coaching, and difference from many other disciplines, it's not about solving your problems. We are not here to solve them. We are here to grab your hand and keep you company as you resolve the problem. We are here. This is your journey. We're here to walk with you in your journey, not my journey. And so our job is to mirror you. That's our job. You say this, let me mirror this back, because I'm not sure if you heard yourself, see yourself. So let me reflect this back. So then this person's like, I never said that. You just said that. Oh, yes, I did. You just did. It's recorded, actually. No? Or, I didn't mean to say that. If you didn't mean to say that, what did you mean to say then? Well, I meant to say this other thing. Then why didn't you say that other thing? So that's our job.
Yeah.
So as coaches, our biggest, actually, when we certify ourselves, the biggest training is, how do you help the other person as the other person discovers themselves to evolve and transform through questions. It's through questions. I don't tell you what to do, but I will ask a question, so you respond to what you should be doing or what you want to do. We actually shy away from I should be, I must do, I have to. Please decide. There's a difference between I have to do this and I decide to do this. The outcome is different.
Right.
So as coaches, we help you in the process of you with all your freedom and your free will, decide what is best for you.
Mm-hmm. All right. Listen, we have been talking about recognizing red flags as coaches or therapists. And if you are looking or searching for a coach or a therapist, what red flags to look for. So I just want to run down a few because we said a lot. We said, I think I counted 7 or 8. If you are in search of a coach, a therapist, or a mentor, number 1, you have to make sure that they are holding you accountable. So mirroring you and holding you accountable. Have coaches, mentors, therapists of their own. What was that? Is that 3? I said 3. There's a 4th. There was a 7th actually, but there's one more that was sticking out of my brain, and I'm drawing a blank right now.
Absolutely.
There was making sure they have a coach or therapist themselves, making sure they I don't know. I'm gonna watch this back because I'm literally drawing a blank right now. But again,
have a therapist, to have recommendations.
Recommendations, yes, that was it.
That was it. No absolute accountability mirroring.
Absolutely. Making sure these are just certain things you should look for. So if you're looking for a coach, a mentor, therapist, and that's professionally, that's in your personal life, whatever it may be, just make sure that in the event that they are missing some of these traits that we've talked about, that can be considered a red flag, because you want to make sure that you're getting the best and you're learning the best and that they are really helping you to reach your goals. Now, as a coach or a therapist, you have to make sure that fear and that ego is removed in trying to help others. You know, as you mentioned, that the account that you were talking about, because I'm not saying any names, but the original account way that you gave in the example that you gave, I could completely understand starting a company, having an account that big, wanting it to work. And of course, not just wanting it to work for all of the people that you could help within that company, but wanting it to work for all of the people within your own company, right? So obviously there's a lot of fear there, and you want to make sure you're moving forward with it, even like you said, even though it just didn't feel right or it wasn't necessarily what you wanted. I could completely understand that. And like you said, we have to find a way to be able to navigate through that space for the best outcome for us.
Yes, and the best that you can do is let go.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, that if money is going to be, in our case, I thought about money and fame, because I thought, oh my goodness, that logo on our website is going to look beautiful. Yeah. Everybody knows it, and it's a worldwide logo, recognized logo. Yeah. And then I thought, money, oh my goodness, we need that. But here's the thing, is that money and fame has a price to pay later. Are we going to pay the price?
Yeah.
And then later on, I cannot complain that I didn't see it coming. So that was the thing. Is like, speaking of red flags, is if the red flags are there for a reason. You can name it from wherever you want. God is sending them to you, the universe, the cosmos, whatever you want to call this. But guess what? Someone is putting them there for you. And so if you don't listen, you're going to pay this price as well. So it's better to recognize them since the beginning and say, you know what? And call it as it is. This to me is a red flag, and I am not comfortable with this. That's it. Goodbye. Thank you so much. Make space for the next person, who will be a person of a green flag, which we'll talk later.
But yeah.
That's it.
I think I want to, well, we're over, so I do have to end the show very quickly, but I definitely want to end on that note. If you don't pay attention now, you will pay later. And that's it. That's the whole point of the red flags. If you're not paying attention now, you will pay later. And that's red flags in every single area. So again, I thank you both, because I love when you're here and I get so much from it, because I go home and I start thinking about different scenarios, things that have happened in the past that helps me to clear up things and in the future. So again, thank you so much. I love it. Again. every Tuesday when you guys are here, especially the last Tuesday of the month. And so just let everybody know how to find you at Yoshida Academy.
Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, Yoshida Academy. That's it. That's the beauty of having the singularity of the name.
Yep.
And you can also find Minue Yoshida on LinkedIn and Angie Ogando, Angelica Ogando in LinkedIn. And then, you can find Angie Ogando as well in Warrior Queen Cosmetics. In every single platform that I just mentioned. Let's help each other shine bright, because as we heal others.
Love it. All right. And I'll see you all next month.
Absolutely. Love it. April 30th.
April 30th. We'll be back here. Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much for another Red Flags series. Bye, everybody. I'll see you soon.
Thank you. Bye. See you soon. Thank you.
Bye-bye.